Hey guys, it's LSuperSonicQ with another video from the In-Depth series. It seems like these In-Depth series videos have kind of been lacking lately, but anyway, this is an episode I've been pumped about for a while, and as you can tell from the title, it's prototype and unfinished models. So, why would I ever have a prototype or unfinished model? Well, just like anybody else who does a lot of, one thing, I either sculpt a model, just don't feel motivated to finish it, come up with a better design for it, or yeah, just lose interest in you know finishing it. Like I said, maybe I ran out of paint. That's happened a couple times. Numerous reasons like that, and I thought it'd be really cool just to show off everything that I never finished, cause yeah, some of them are really interesting, and honestly, a couple of them I really wish I did finish, but I just don't want to go back and you know ruin it, maybe make it worse than it would have been if I finished it at the time. Uh, for the sake of this episode, I mean, I think I'm slightly going out of order. I don't. I think this is supposed to be episode. I think this is supposed to be episode 10, but I'm really switching it with an episode that I made before the new year, so I don't know where the episode numbers necessarily are, but that's cool. So anyway, see, we got a big bag of goodies here to review, and I got some other stuff to the side here in individual bags, but alright, we'll start. So, I have all sorts of stuff here. I have just regular sculpt that I have painted. I'll just go through whatever first. We'll look in the bag first. First up, because he's not in an individual bag, is this Naruto. Oh, he's in Shippuden form. And yeah, one of the reasons why I didn't finish him, I think mostly I just wanted this model to, I just made him to like work on the hair, which you can see the spiky hair. It's looking better compared to some of my other Naruto models, but it's still not the best. And I know the face, I think this would have been a final model if I didn't screw the face up, but I wanted to perfect drawing with like a manga pen on the face instead of trying to paint a face on. I find that sometimes works better. So that's what I tried to do. I screwed it up, and I wasn't gonna paint this model at all. So I took some clay. If you can kind of see here, I like worked it over the face, so he has like 3 layers of like face right here. And I just never got around to finishing the face because I tried once and I pretty much failed. The headband's kind of the wrong color too. Notice Naruto's right-handed. This thing is on his left. I did that by accident. That was not intentional at all. And yeah, I kind of like that back swirl though. Anyway, it was just a so-so model. He would have been a final if I actually had, bothered to finish it and fix my errors, so to speak. Okay, next, because he's not in a bag either, is this Link. I think he's based off of the Brawl artwork. Yeah, his sword. Yeah, there's a toothpick supposed to go in there, but anyway, this is Brawl Link, and as you can tell, I mean, a lot of these were sculpted a while ago. That one, not so much. That may have been a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago. This was probably about 4 years ago, if not more. This was supposed to be like a finished model, aside from the sculpt not being that great. But the paint that I used, this is when I was first starting to experiment with paint, and before I knew that acrylic paint existed. So I knew watercolors wouldn't work, and I tried tempera, and essentially, yeah, you can tell from the result, and his head fell. So, you can tell from the result that it didn't work. The colors just all bled into each other. It was really, yeah, it didn't stay. They weren't bold enough, and you could see the clay in the background. It just didn't work at all. I couldn't get any designs on there. So, because I screwed up the whole color of this, I kind of said, why bother even attempting to finish it? No point doing a face or anything. I kind of just screwed it up and never bothered to try and fix it, because there's really no point trying to fix it. You can almost see some of the stuff I didn't even like finish. I mean, that whole thing is still peach from the color I sculpted it in. So you got headless Link over here. Here's the sword. Yeah, no better. All right. Oh, I just found this in this bag right now, and if anybody watched the anime in-depth edition thing videos, I think it was in the second part. Remember that Lucian that didn't have his arm? Well, I just found it right now in this prototype bag. So It's kind of weird, but it's kind of funny. I'm gonna put that there. Prototype Lelouch arm. Alright, these ones are in the bags. This is like sculpted clay. Like just not painted, just like sculpted like that Naruto. That I never finished. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with Skull Kid. So this mess is Skull Kid. I'm not going to try and take these out of the bag. I'll just ruin them. They're very fragile because they dried out so bad. So this was the original Skull Kid that I was going to make for the Majora's Mask set. But as you guys all know, I resculpted it with more vibrant colors and I made a new one pretty much. So, yeah. This one was going to be in existence, but I only got as far as... Well, the mask is there. This is the body. I think these are arms, and this is his hat thing. And that's kind of it. I don't even think I got to his head. But that was that. Here's another one. I kind of wish I finished this. If anybody remembers Video Game Clay Figure Models 5, that little Darkrai, I wanted to make a little Arceus to go with it. But due to size, this thing is like huge compared to the Darkrai already. So because of that, I didn't really want to finish it. And I ran out of white actually while I was sculpting this. So I never got around to finishing it. And it kind of just was forgotten. But the face is pretty good, if you can see that. I kind of like that face there. And I got a couple of the legs done. I never got the body. I think that's another reason why I stopped doing this, is because I knew I would have immense trouble with the body, because this is like two-dimensional right here. I mean, it's like not 3D. And then I would have had to put that onto a three-dimensional body, and that just wouldn't have worked at all. Yeah. Okay, this is the last one that was in that bag that I showed at the beginning, and it's the head of Little Mac. I remember the day I sculpted this, and it was... I haven't bought one of those, like, 30 color pack sampler, like, really big clay sets in such a long time, because I've just been buying single white ones, or just single colors in general. But I remember this. It was the day I opened one of like, a fresh new package of that 30 color sampler, and I started to sculpt this Little Mac, and I got to the face, I'm like, oh, those eyes, they took me so long to do, and I wanted to make the face look really good, I wanted to make the nose look really good and stuff, and that kind of just never happened. I said, okay, pretty much, I'll put this away for another day, and hopefully I'll finish it, and sadly, it never got finished. This is a head, that's all it is. The hair is actually pretty good. I mean, for what it is, the hair is pretty good. It's like, it's spiked up nicely. The eyes are pretty good, but he has a crack in his face now, and the ears aren't bad either, but that was bodiless Little Mac. I thought about, like, re-sculpting and making another Little Mac, but I never got around to it. Anyway, let's start with this. That's not really a model, but it's interesting. What is it? Well, actually, this is a prototype sword holder thing to this Marth right here, right there. This was the prototype one to that. Because what I did is I made the sword and I tried to sculpt the clay around the sword, but this one was too tight and I couldn't get the sword like in or out at all, so I had to scrap it and I made a new one. But just the fact that this would have gone to that Marth, but it didn't because the sword didn't fit in. I thought that was kind of cool. That went in this bag, so I'll just keep it in this bag. Okay, next is, this was the base that Martha just showed, if you could see the fox to the side of it, and any other type of model that I use like this. This was the origin in which I tried to make posable models, and it comes from this Lelouch. This was the first model that I tried to test the posability thing with. And you can tell, I mean, the joints are... it works. I mean, it works. But, the joints are pretty basic and stuff like that. But this was the original, like, test subject, if you will, for, those type of advanced models. And also, he doesn't have any hands or anything because I did make a bunch of, like, extra hands. They actually fit in. It's just like a little wire, but, I mean, I made a bunch of extra hands. Here's two others right here, but I'm not going to try and put them in. Yeah, so that was kind of cool. Successful attempt at that. And he doesn't stand at all, and he's kind of tall, like I said. Again, because it was just to test this stuff, I mean, some of the hands and stuff fit in better than others, but I guess it's fine for what it is. Also, this was never really successful, and I'm still trying to find the perfect way to do this, but this was a stand. I tried to like wrap it around him, so it would make him stand up because he doesn't sit up on his own, but it didn't work. He was too heavy and it never worked, and it probably will never work. Yeah. I'm still getting more successful with making stands for the more advanced models by just finding like everyday things around the house, taping them together, and then like somehow it works rather than sculpting it. This head was actually, this head, I wasn't pleased with the hair or the eyes much. I just didn't feel like it was loose, so I resculpted a head. And this one is reasonably better. But if you can tell, it's reasonably bigger. Let me try and yeah. See, it's like too big. I didn't like how it looked. I didn't want to mess up the eyes because I knew I was going to mess up the eyes. So as a result, it's just an unfinished Lelouch head. Yay. Okay. Oh, I have a couple more left. Okay, so this one is a model that I really want to resculpt. And I was going to, and I ended up using the clay for something that I didn't think was going to take up as much clay. So shame on me for that, but I am going to resculpt this model at some point down the line. And let me just take it out of the bag. He uses up 2 bags. And it's Kyle Hyde from Hotel Dusk. Actually, I think this is last window artwork, but that's not my point. It's Kyle Hyde. So when I made this model, I remember the day I made this model. I was really unsure as to how I wanted to do the face. I've seen different pictures of Kyle Hyde where his hair's down, his hair's spiked to the side. So I really didn't know what hairstyle I wanted to go with, and as a result, yeah, I still don't. I still don't know what I was doing. And I still hadn't perfected the sculpting the nose from the face, so I was still experimenting with that. The clothes I wanted to make look like actual clothes, and again, it worked from up to here, but then as you get down here, it doesn't look like pants. These don't really look like dress shoes like he wears and stuff. And on top of that, the same day I was doing this, I didn't have any white paint, so when I was painting this prototype gray, that's the color I call it, this isn't the right color, it's too dark, and I was running out of white, and I said to myself I'd pack it away for another day and finish it, but as a result, the next day I looked at it and I said, this isn't Kyle Hyde. The hair, I think it's all in the hair. The hair didn't work out, and as a result, I just never finished it. But I'm making an effort to myself to say that, yes, I will resculpt and make a new Kyle Hyde. This is one of the best prototype models I have ever made, and it's such a shame I never finished it. But it's Shadow from Sonic Adventure 2. I wanted to make, if you guys remember from Video Game Clay Figure Models 2, I believe it was, that Sonic Adventure Sonic, where I said that he's angled weird, and yeah, he's angled weird, and you can only view him from one side. That's what I wanted to do with this Shadow. And as you can see, if I can flip it over, see, I mean his nose, he's completely different from the other side of him. And I started to work, oh, he's falling apart, man. And I started to work on him, and it was so tedious and stuff that I pretty much said to myself, maybe I should just make him a bust instead of a whole, body and stuff. But I'm nah, I'll just pack it away, finish it, like I always say, another day, and I'll make a full body and stuff. But I never did. And it was because of that indecisiveness, should I make him a bust or should I make him a full-scale model, that he was never finished, and he'll probably stay like this forever. And just leave him in the bag, and he will stay prototype model forever and ever. I remember it was so hard to do this little eye thing right here. And it's kind of a shame that it's never done, but I'm gonna get on with this one. What's this mess? Well, it happens to be Ichigo, but this Ichigo is the very second model that I sculpted out of white clay and then painted, hence the really bad paint job. But so this kind of is a prototype, actually. The Sonic one is more of an unfinished one. Yeah, this neck is really big and messed up, and I remember because I did the Sonic I'm talking about and this with the same block of clay, and I was running out of clay on this one. I knew I wasn't going to finish it. It's pretty sloppy, honestly, because it was one of those, I just want to get it done ones. This was done a long time ago. I'm going to say maybe 4 years ago. Yeah, it had to be 4 years ago, because it was at the same time that that link was being made. So, yeah, he was in his Bankai Hollow form thing, but never finish him. He'll never get done. That's that. And finally, a model that I consider never to really be done, while at the same time he set a new standard for me and inspired me with further models that I've currently made. And that's Sonic's body and Sonic's head. That's right. So, this Sonic was the very first sculpted out of white and painted clay model that I ever made. But something that a reason why I never considered him to be done is because when I originally made him, I was trying to make him like the Brawl Sonic, but just, it didn't work right, stuff was falling off, I couldn't get him to stay in the oven, and pretty much how it ended up was I just reposed him and did everything to him. And then when he was done, I just didn't feel like the paint job wasn't how I wanted it to be. It still really isn't how I want it to be. I mean, but, oh, his spikes fell off, yeah, and stuff. And he's just kind of, like, blocky all over. So I always said to myself, I'm going to try and, like, fix him up and, stuff. But I never really did. And I'd say that's a shame, but at the same time, it's helped me sculpt better Sonic models, because he was always around my art stuff for the longest time. And one day I just said, like, I'm going to take this, but I'm going to make it look a million times better. So that's what I did, and as a result, I've sculpted, like, so many better Sonics, because I've looked at this and said, I'm gonna sculpt what I wanted this to be. So he's kind of like my inspiration and stuff. I consider, there's this one Sonic I made now, haven't revealed it yet, but I consider it like my master Sonic, and the two of them together this is like a before, and the one I'm talking about is like an after. So this guy gave me a lot of inspiration, actually, and his head deserves to be in this picture. Cool, so, oh, here's spikes, but you can't really see those. There they are. So anyway, these were all of my prototype models that I found. I actually I wasn't planning on doing this video today, but I was going through some of my art stuff. I found just bags of these. I said, this is the in-depth that I really wanted to do. So I said, why wait? They're all here. Let's do it. And I did it, and that's what this is. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll have more videos soon. Alright, so until the next video, that's it from LSuperSonicQ and Finn.